that what you like to write about, is playing with your friends sometimes? Okay. What do writers need in their books? Yes, ma'am, what do they need?
They need words.
They need words. What else do they need in there?
Pictures.
Pictures. They need pictures and words. And so we're going to work today, and I have our little frame for the day. We, our whole group together, we're going to look at how other authors stay on topic. That means they're writing about one thing. How many things? One thing. So your job today as the author, you are going to reread your books. Because we're going to look to see, to make sure that your book is about how many? One thing. Okay, so let's see. I will reread. I know you guys know about rereading now, don't you?
Yes.
To make sure my book is about, show me with your finger, one thing. Okay, so let's take a look at that and see what I'm talking about. So I have brought some books today because something that's really important for authors to do is when they're writing their books, they've got to make sure that their books make sense. And a lot of times for their books to make sense, they make their books about one thing. And that could be one thing they know a lot about, or it could be about one thing they did in the story. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of books today, and I want you guys, we're going to talk about how this author stays on topic. That means their book is about one thing. So one of the first things I'm going to start with is one of my books, because did you know I'm an author too? I make books just like you guys do, just in stapled paper, just like you guys. So I brought one of my books today. And if I were going to look back at my book, I'm going to show you the front cover. And my book's actually not finished because I haven't gotten anything on my back cover. So I need to work on that. But I've worked on my front cover. And so my book is called In My Garden. I actually wrote this book last year. And it has the author's name. Who's the author? Me, Miss Moore. And my name kind of sounds like s'more. So if that helps you remember my name, you can. How many of you guys have had a s'more before? Where it's the chocolate and the graham cracker and the marshmallow. It's kind of what my name sounds like, Miss Moore. So you can remember that. So my book is all about things that grow in my garden. What if I got to the last page right here, and I had in here, I said, I'm not going to read my whole book. Tomatoes grow in my garden. Squash grows in my garden. Blackberries grow in my garden. My daughter actually helped me with this one. She helped label my pictures for me, and she helped color some of them too. Cucumbers grow in my garden. Peppers. Basil, which is an herb, grows in my garden, but it all died last night. Carrots grow in my garden. What's that one? Pumpkins grow in my garden. What's that one you think? Watermelons grow in my garden. And weeds grow in my garden. What if on this very last page I wrote, and I love the circus?
You should write, I love my garden.
Why do you think that? Why do you think I love my garden should go here instead of I love the circus?
Because it's a garden.
Because it's all about what?
Garden.
Gardens. Is it all about one thing? Yeah, because these are all the different things that are in my garden. And so it really is about all of my garden, right? So it wouldn't make sense if I said, and I love the circus. That would be silly, wouldn't it? You'd get to the last page and you'd go, what? Because you'd be wondering, why did she put that in there? So take a look at this one. This one I'm not even close to being done with. This one is, I was trying out some ways to put my pictures in there. This one I haven't worked on my cover. I usually do my covers last. This one's about hummingbirds. Because during the summer, hummingbirds come to my house a lot. And so I have written just a few words in here. So it says, hummingbirds are the smallest birds. And I wrote, hummingbirds have wings, beaks, and colorful feathers. Hummingbirds have long beaks and a long tongue that laps up nectar. Hummingbird eggs are the size of a jelly bean. And so this page right here, I think I'm going to talk about peacocks have really colorful blue feathers. Talk to your neighbor. Why would that not be the best thing? Turn and talk to your neighbor. And let's see, why would that not be the best thing? What do you think my next page should be about?
Why should she put
Why don't you turn and talk to this gentleman right here? You three talk.
should she put about peacocks?
What's wrong with that?
That's not a good idea because she wrote about
No, thank you. So would the reader get confused? Because hummingbirds are little bitty old birds, and then there's this big
Class,
old
class.
picture of a-
Oh,
we
what
go
else?
1, 2.
1, 2.
Eyes on you.
Oh, yes. Oh, very nice.
We did it finish.
You didn't finish talking? Go ahead and take your time and finish talking. Go ahead.
So I didn't finish.
So it wouldn't make sense for me to do that. What do you think my next page should be?
So what do you think she should finish with?
When you're finished talking, I want you to turn your eyes on me.
Good.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Miss Moore, we need to talk a little bit longer.
That's okay. It's all right. It's good to know about you guys.
It's about not peacocks.
Nobody talked to you.
Hummingbirds, right?
Peacocks color.
Besides, are peacocks really big? And hummingbirds are
Page should be about.
Small.
real small.
All right. Now, okay, let's turn to. Very nice. So, oh, I will help you remember. It's okay. So, I heard lots of friends saying that, does it make sense to make my next page about peacocks? No. Why?
Because there's a hummingbird.
Because my whole book is about hummingbirds. So, what should my next page be about? It should be something else about hummingbirds. So you guys are great already at being able to tell me when I need to stay on my topic. Let's look at a couple of authors that have published books. This book's called I Love Trucks. Raise your hand if you think you can tell me what this whole book is about. Remember, it's about one thing. Samuel, what do you think this whole book is about? Trucks. Do you think this book is going to be about trains and airplanes too? Nope. It is just about all different kinds of trucks. Let's look at this one. This book is called Birds. Now this one's about all different kinds of birds and different things about birds. But do you think in this book we might, let's see, I'm going to see if I'm going to learn about Thanksgiving. Do you think I would learn about Thanksgiving in a book about birds?
No.
Probably not. I probably won't find anything. And so sometimes when you're looking at a book, you need to make sure it makes sense. So this whole book's probably about birds. Oh, let's look at one more. This one's a very interesting book. I bet you guys can stretch this word out with me. Ready? Let's see. It's kind of tough to read on that one. Let's read it right here. Mud. This book is called Mud. It's mud.
Ew.
What is mud?
It's squishy stuff. And it's
What's mud made out of? Dirt and water, and you mix it together and it gets real squishy. And so this whole book is about mud. Do you think in this book we might learn about going to the zoo?
No.
You don't think so with a mud book?
No.
So we know that authors need to write their whole book about, get your fingers up there, how many things?
One thing.
One thing. They need to stay on that. If I were telling a story about whenever I went trick-or-treating, would it make sense to tell you also about what I had for lunch that day? No, because my book would be about trick-or-treating, right? So today, when you guys go to your seats, you are going to start thinking and you're going to look at your books. And when you get your book out or your writing out, I want you to reread it like good authors do. And I want you to think and ask yourself a question. Is my book about one thing? So let's practice that. Is my book about one thing? And if you read your book and you're like, ooh, it's not exactly about one thing, Ms. Scherer and I can help you with that. So I'm going to be coming around to confer with some of you guys. That means I'm going to come talk to you about your writing and see how I can help you. But your job when you go back to your seat is to reread your book and to ask yourself, is my book about one thing? Because we want to make sure that we're staying on topic. Let's see how we do, okay? All right, so let's see. Miss Sher, you can push play.